Stepson told me I wasn't allowed to play dad at his school when a bully targeted him, so I stopped taking meetings with the principal and let his bio dad explain why no adult showed up on his side. Hello everyone. Welcome to Reddit Visuals. Today's story comes from a stepdad who thought he was doing everything right until his stepson told him to back off. What happened next taught everyone a lesson about what it really means to show up. Let's get into it. I used to believe no kid would ever choose their pride over having someone in their corner. Turns out some of them will, right up until the moment the hallway doors close and there's nobody standing behind them. I'm 41, and if you asked most people around me, they'd say I'm a pretty patient, boringly reasonable guy. I work as an IT manager for a mid-sized company, the kind of job where the biggest drama is a forgotten password and someone swearing their report just disappeared. I don't drink much, I don't party, and my idea of a wild Friday night is grilling in the backyard with my wife and falling asleep halfway through a documentary. 10 years ago, I met Lisa. She was divorced. One kid, a boy named Evan who was 7 at the time. When we met, she told me very clearly, "He comes first, always." I respected that. Honestly, it was one of the things that made me fall for her. She wasn't trying to be cool mom, she was trying to be a good mom. Evan was cautious with me. Not rude, not warm, just guarded. We eased into things. I was mom's friend for a while. Then, slowly, I became the guy who helped with Lego sets, who explained fractions when homework turned into tears, who showed up at rec league soccer games with orange slices. I never tried to replace his father. I didn't even meet his father, Mark, for almost a year. All I had were hints from Lisa. Late child support, canceled weekends, promises that evaporated like morning fog. She kept Mark's contact info in her phone under Evan's dad with a little red flag emoji next to it. That should have told me everything. When Lisa and I got married, Evan was 10. I remember standing there in a cheap rented suit, hands shaking as I put the ring on her finger, when Evan wrapped his arms around both of us in this awkward sideways hug. Later that night, he handed me a card he'd drawn, 3 stick figures holding hands, with "Welcome to the family" scrawled at the top in that wiggly kid handwriting. I kept that card, still have it. For the next 2 years, things were good. Not perfect, but good. We did homework together. I taught him how to change a tire. We had inside jokes about terrible action movies. He called me by my first name, never Dad, and I never pushed it. I figured if it happened, it would happen naturally. Then he turned 12 and started middle school. That's where things started to crack. Not suddenly. Hairline fractures at first. Evan hit that age where everything a parent says is stupid, embarrassing, or both. I was no longer the cool Lego guy. I was the guy who didn't get it. Lisa warned me this was normal. "All kids push away at this age," she said. "Just be patient." And then we found out about the bully. His name was Tyler. At first, I only knew him as that kid in the blue hoodie from Evan's stories. You know the type. Taller than everyone else, loud laughing in the cafeteria, always surrounded by an orbit of other boys who were just brave enough to laugh, but not brave enough to lead. It started subtle. Evan came home quieter. He'd hover in the kitchen, open the fridge, close it, wander upstairs without eating. The usual questions: how was school? Anything interesting happen? Got automatic fine and nope responses. One night, about 3 weeks into 7th grade, I caught him standing in front of the bathroom mirror, pulling at his hair. He'd always had this shaggy, curly brown mop that refused to lie flat no matter how much gel you used. That night, his eyes were red. "Hey," I said gently, leaning against the doorway. Mirror crime scene. What did it do to you? He snorted a little, but it didn't reach his eyes. Nothing. I stepped closer. "You sure? Because you look like you're about to break up with your reflection." He hesitated. Then it spilled out in a rush. "Tyler says I look like a girl. He keeps calling me princess. He walked by my table today and curtsied. Everyone laughed. Even Mr. Hawkins told him to knock it off, boys, but he was smiling, like it was funny. There was this tightness in my chest that I hadn't felt since I was his age, being cornered in a locker room by guys who smelled like Axe body spray and cheap bravado. "Has this been going on a while?" I asked. He shrugged, which is teenager speak for yes, obviously. "Why didn't you tell us?" "Because Mom will freak out and email the entire school. And you." He trailed off. "And me what?" I said, keeping my voice level. He glanced at me in the mirror. "You'll try to handle it. You always have to get involved." That stung more than I wanted to admit, but I kept my voice steady. "Look," I said, "you don't have to tell me every detail, but here's the deal. I will never sit back and watch you get hurt. That's not what adults are for. If there's a problem, we deal with it. Together. No dramatic email chains, no embarrassing scenes, just adults doing their job." He didn't look convinced, but he didn't shut me down either. Small win. Later that night, after he went to bed, I talked to Lisa in our bedroom. "Maybe we should schedule something with the school counselor," I suggested. "At least put it on their radar." She nodded immediately, but I saw something flicker across her face. Worry, maybe. Or doubt. "Absolutely. I want them to know we're paying attention. But..." She paused. "Evan's at that age where he's sensitive about us being involved. We need to be careful not to embarrass him." "I'm not trying to embarrass him," I said. "I'm trying to protect him." "I know," she said, squeezing my hand. "Just, let's be strategic about it." We booked a meeting. I took time off work, put on a decent shirt instead of my usual polo, and walked into that middle school office like I was stepping into a negotiation. The principal, Mr. Grant, was classic school administrator, polished, firm handshake, framed degree behind his desk, bowl of mints nobody ever ate. The school counselor, Ms. Patel, sat beside him with a notepad balanced on her knee and tired eyes that told me she'd heard every kind of story. We explained what was happening. Lisa led, but I chimed in when it counted. "Look," I said, "I get that middle school is a jungle, but when a kid is being mocked to the point of not wanting to come to school, that's not kids being kids. That's a hostile environment. You don't have to expel anyone, but there need to be real consequences." Mr. Grant gave us the standard spiel. "We take bullying very seriously. We'll have a conversation with the student in question. We'll monitor the situation closely." I'd heard versions of that corporate script in boardrooms. It meant, we'll do the minimum we have to, as long as nobody sues us. So I pushed, gently but firmly. "Can we agree on what monitor looks like? And if it continues, what's step 2? I work in systems. Vague plans usually mean no plan." I saw something flicker in his eyes. Respect, annoyance, maybe both. We left that meeting with a loose agreement. They'd speak to Tyler and his parents, follow up with us in 2 weeks, and Evan could check in with Ms. Patel anytime he needed. For a while, it got better. Or at least it looked that way. Evan came home lighter. The princess comment stopped. He even joked again at dinner. And then, exactly 3 weeks later, the call came. I was at work when my phone buzzed with the school's number. My stomach dropped. "Hello? Hi, this is Ms. Patel. We've had an incident with Evan. We need a parent or guardian to come in as soon as possible." "Is he okay?" She hesitated just long enough to make my heart pound. "He's physically okay, but there was a fight." Lisa met me there. When we arrived, Evan was sitting outside the office, one eye starting to swell, a split lip, hands balled into fists. Tyler sat on the opposite bench, smirking despite the ice pack pressed against his cheek. Lisa rushed to Evan, fussing over him. I scanned the hallway. No other parents yet. Mr. Grant ushered us into his office. "Evan threw the first punch," he said, in that disappointed tone principals have perfected. There were words exchanged. "From who?" I interrupted. He paused. "We're investigating the exact sequence of events." Evan stared at the wall, jaw clenched. "Evan," Lisa said gently, "tell us what happened." Silence. He didn't even look at us. Mr. Grant sighed. There was some name-calling. We intervened as quickly as we could. I turned that over in my head. Name-calling. Same kid. Same target. So much for "we'll monitor the situation." Lisa started in right away. "We had a whole meeting about this. You said..." He held up his hands. "We're addressing it. Both students will receive in-school suspension. We'd like to meet with you and the other students' parents to determine a path forward." I could have argued. I wanted to argue. But what stuck in my head? was the way Evan wouldn't look at me, like I was part of the problem now, part of the adult machine that seemed to fail him. On the drive home, the car was dead quiet. Lisa drove while I sat in the back with Evan, watching him stare out the window. Finally, I said, "You know you don't have to take that alone, right? You can come to us before it gets to this." He answered without turning his head. "I didn't want you making a scene, or emailing, or going to the principal again. I'm tired of being the kid whose stepdad hangs around school like he's my lawyer." That's when he said it. "I didn't ask you to play dad at my school." It was quiet, almost under his breath, but it landed like a brick. I stared at the back of Lisa's headrest. "What did you say?" "You heard me." His voice was colder now. "You're not my dad. You don't have to keep showing up and embarrassing me. I can handle it." Lisa inhaled sharply in the driver's seat. "Evan." He cut her off. "Mom, you said I needed to stand up for myself. That's what I did. I don't need him hovering at school. I don't need some IT guy trying to be my hero." He practically spat the words IT guy and hero, like they both tasted bad. Lisa pulled the car over into a parking lot and turned around fully. "Evan, that is completely out of line. Apologize right now." "Why?" he shot back. "He's not my real dad. My real dad has a name. It's Mark. Remember him?" The car went silent. Lisa looked like she'd been slapped. I felt something cold settle in my chest. "Your real dad," I said quietly, "hasn't been to a single school meeting in 5 years. Your real dad missed your birthday last month. Your real dad is currently 3 months behind on child support. But sure, let's talk about who your real dad is." Evan's face flushed. "At least he doesn't pretend." "You're right," I said. "He doesn't pretend. He just doesn't show up at all." Lisa put her hand on my arm. "Both of you, stop. We're all upset. Let's just go home." We drove the rest of the way in silence. That night, after Evan slammed his bedroom door hard enough to rattle a picture frame, Lisa and I stood in the kitchen. "He's a teenager," she said, rubbing her temples. "They say cruel things. They don't mean it." "He was very clear," I said. "He doesn't want me at that school. He doesn't want me playing dad there." "You know that's not really what he meant." "I know exactly what he meant," I said, and I surprised myself with how calm my voice sounded. Inside, I felt like someone had reached in and unplugged something. "Lisa, you told me from day one that he comes first." I agreed. "I've spent 10 years showing up for him. But I'm not going to keep forcing myself into spaces where I'm told I'm not wanted." She bit her lip. "So what are you saying?" "I'm saying maybe it's time Evan learns the difference between the people who say they're his parents and the people who actually act like it." She didn't say anything to that. We went to bed in that awkward, careful silence couples use when they're both afraid to say the thing that might break something permanently. The school emailed the next morning with proposed times for a restorative justice meeting. They wanted us and Tyler's parents and Evan all in a room. I stared at the email for a long time. Then I opened Lisa's phone contacts. She'd left it on the counter and found Evan's dad. I took a photo of Mark's email address and phone number. Then I forwarded the school email to Mark's address and hit reply all to the school. "Mark Jensen is Evan's father and will be coordinating on his behalf moving forward. Please direct all future communications regarding disciplinary matters to him." I sat there, finger hovering over send, feeling my heartbeat in my throat. Then I thought about that car ride. "I didn't ask you to play dad at my school." The disgust in his voice when he said some IT guy. And I hit send. Lisa saw it 15 minutes later. Her phone lit up with a call from the school. "What did you do?" she demanded after hanging up. "I copied his actual father," I said. "The guy whose last name is on Evan's birth certificate. The one who gets to be real dad without doing any of the work. Evan was very clear he doesn't want me there. So I won't be." "You're being petty," she said. "You know Mark won't show up. He never does." "Then maybe it's time everyone stops pretending I'm the problem when I'm the only adult actually showing up," I replied. "I'm tired of being treated like the overstepping outsider when I'm the only one sitting in those meetings." "What about Evan?" she asked, her voice rising. "What about what Evan actually said?" I countered. "He's old enough to tell us what he wants. He told me. I'm listening." She stared at me. "This is going to backfire. You know that, right? He's going to walk into that meeting and realize Mark isn't there, and he's going to be humiliated." "Maybe," I said, "or maybe he'll finally understand who's actually been in his corner this whole time." She went quiet, then coldly, "I hope you know what you're doing." "So do I said. I went to work. I didn't clear my calendar for midday school meetings. When the school called again, I let it go to voicemail. Ms. Patel left a polite message asking me to confirm attendance. I wrote back, "Mark is Evan's father and will be your point of contact from now on. I will not be attending further disciplinary or administrative meetings unless Evan specifically requests my presence." I hit send and felt something inside me settle. Not vindictive, exactly. Just done. 2 days later, the meeting was scheduled. Lisa told me over dinner, poking at her pasta with barely concealed tension. "They set it for Thursday at 3:30, she said. "I can't get out of work that early. I called Mark yesterday, left him 2 voicemails. He texted back this morning and said he'd try to make it." I raised an eyebrow. Did he try to make it when Evan had the flu last year? Or was that different? She glared at me. "You're not helping." "I'm not trying to help," I said. "I'm staying out of it. That's what everyone seems to want." She slammed her fork down. "You're punishing a child because your feelings are hurt." "I'm respecting his boundaries," I corrected. "There's a difference." Thursday rolled around. At 3:25, my phone buzzed. Lisa. I didn't pick up. At 3:40, another call. Then a text. "Mark isn't here. Evan's asking where you are. Principal wants to start. Can you come?" I stared at the text. Then I imagined myself walking into that office last minute, swooping in to be the dependable adult. I imagined the look on Evan's face, relief maybe, and then, 2 weeks later, the same contempt when I embarrassed him by advocating too hard. My fingers hovered. I typed, "I'm in a meeting. I told the school I won't attend unless Evan himself asks me directly. If he wants me there, he can call." I sent it. Put my phone face down on my desk, tried to focus on a spreadsheet that suddenly looked like ancient hieroglyphics. 10 minutes later, my phone rang. Evan. I let it ring twice before answering. "Hello?" His voice was small, nothing like the sharp, angry tone in the car. "Where are you?" "At work," I said. "What's going on?" "They're all here," he said, and I could hear the tremor underneath. "Principal, counselor, Tyler's mom. Mom's on speaker from her office. Dad's not here. Mr. Grant asked if we should start or if there was any other adult who could speak for me." They all looked at me, at the empty chair next to me. "And what did you say?" I asked, though I already knew why he was calling. Silence on the line. I could hear background murmurs, the faint echo of an office. His voice cracked. "Can you come, please?" There it was, the thing I'd been waiting to hear. Not because I needed his validation to justify caring about him, but because I needed to know that if I walked into that room again, it was because he wanted me there, not because everyone just assumed I'd come running. "I can leave in 15, I said. "It'll take me 20 to get there. Tell them to wait. Tell them you have someone coming." "Okay," he whispered. "Please hurry." I grabbed my keys and jogged to my car. The drive felt longer than it was. Every red light felt personal. I got to the school slightly out of breath, checked in with the secretary, who gave me that slightly disapproving look schools reserve for parents who arrive late. "Conference room B," she said. "They're waiting." I walked down that hallway and stopped outside the door for just a second. Took a breath. Then I opened it. Mr. Grant sat at the head of the table, Ms. Patel beside him. Tyler slouched in a chair, his mom, perfectly manicured, tight-lipped, next to him. Lisa's face was on a laptop screen via video call, her expression unreadable. And Evan sat alone on the far side, shoulders hunched, twisting a rubber band between his fingers. An empty chair sat beside him. I walked in, nodded at the adults, and went straight to that chair. Sat down. "Hi," I said quietly to Evan. He didn't look at me, but he shifted just enough that our shoulders almost touched. His hand stopped twisting the rubber band. "Good. Now that we're all here," Mr. Grant began, with just a hint of emphasis on all, "we can discuss creating a safer environment for both students." He launched into his script about not assigning blame, about understanding what happened, about preventing future incidents. I let him talk. Let Tyler mumble something about just joking around. Let his mother insist he comes from a good family and would never intentionally hurt anyone. Then Ms. Patel turned to Evan. "Do you want to share how this has affected you?" He swallowed hard. "He calls me names," he said, voice barely above a whisper. "In the hall, in gym, online. He made a fake Instagram account and posted a picture of me with a tiara photoshopped on. Everyone at school saw it. The comments," his voice broke. "They said I should just not come back." My jaw clenched so hard it hurt. I didn't interrupt. I just reached over and put my hand on the table near his, not touching, just close enough that he'd know I was right there. "And how did that make you feel?" Miss Patel asked gently. "Like I shouldn't exist," he said. "Like it would be better if I just stayed home. Or worse." The room went very still. Even Tyler's mom's face flickered with something that might have been actual concern. From the laptop, I heard Lisa's sharp inhale. Mr. Grant cleared his throat. "Understanding the severity, we're looking at peer mediation, increased supervision." I held up a hand. "Can I ask something? As the adult who's been called into this school 3 times now?" He hesitated. "Of course." "You say you take bullying seriously. We had this exact conversation 5 weeks ago. You promised increased monitoring. Yet somehow a child was able to create a fake account, target my stepson repeatedly, post humiliating images, and gather dozens of comments telling him he shouldn't exist. At what point do we stop treating this as kids being kids and start treating it as what it actually is, sustained harassment?" Tyler's mom bristled. "Harassment is a strong word. Boys tease each other. It's part of growing up." I looked directly at her. "Is it would be better if I didn't exist part of growing up? Is the comment said I should just not come back part of growing up? How many kids need to say those exact words before we upgrade our language?" Ms. Patel looked down at her notes. Mr. Grant shifted uncomfortably. Tyler muttered, "I said I was sorry." I turned to him. "No," I said evenly. "You said you were just joking around. That's not an apology. That's an excuse." The meeting dragged on with the usual bureaucratic dance, action plans, follow-ups, digital citizenship seminars. But this time, real consequences emerged. Tyler lost his extracurricular privileges for the semester, got a documented incident in his permanent record, and faced mandatory counseling sessions. Evan would have ongoing check-ins with Ms. Patel and a safety plan in place. When it was over, Tyler and his mother left first. She gave us a tight smile that looked painful. From the laptop, Lisa said, "Evan, honey, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there in person. I love you. I'll be home in an hour." "It's okay, Mom," he said quietly. "I had someone here." The screen went dark. It was just me and Evan in the conference room. He stared at the table. "You came," he said. "You asked," I replied. "I thought..." He rubbed his eyes with the heels of his hands. "I thought you wouldn't. Because of what I said. About you not being my real dad." I was hurt, I admitted. But I also needed you to see something. When I wasn't there at first, when that chair was empty, what did that feel like? He swallowed hard. Scary. Everyone was looking at me like I was alone. Like nobody cared enough to show up. Tyler's mom kept smirking at me like I was pathetic. "And your dad?" I asked carefully. His face crumpled. "Mom called him during the meeting before you got there. He said he was stuck at work, and then his phone went to voicemail. He didn't even text me after." I felt that familiar anger rise, not at Evan, but at this ghost of a man who held the title without earning anything. "Evan," I said slowly, "I pulled back because you told me to. You said you didn't want me playing dad at your school. You made it very clear. I respected that, even though it hurt. But I needed you to feel what it's like when the person you're pushing away is actually the person who shows up. Not to punish you, To show you reality. He nodded, tears streaming now. I get it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I was embarrassed because kids ask why my stepdad comes to everything and my real dad doesn't. I didn't know what to say. You can say, I told him, that there's a guy in your life who loves you enough to show up even when it's hard, even when you push him away, even when it would be easier to just let someone else handle it. That's what parents do. DNA doesn't make someone a parent. Showing up does. He looked at me then, really looked at me. Can we go home? Yeah, I said. Let's go home. We left the school side by side. In the parking lot, he stopped. Can I ask you something? Sure. Why did you come? After everything I said? I unlocked the car but didn't get in yet. Because you asked. That's the difference, Evan. Your bio dad got the email, got the calls, had every opportunity to be here. He chose not to. You asked me to come, and I came. That's what people do when they actually care. He got in the car quietly. On the drive home, he said, I'm glad you're the one who showed up. Me too, I said. At home, Lisa was waiting. She'd left work early after all. The three of us sat in the living room, and I let Evan tell her everything that happened in the meeting. When he got to the part about the empty chair and calling me, Lisa's eyes welled up. I'm sorry I pushed you to go, she said to me later when Evan was upstairs. I thought you were being stubborn, but you were teaching him something I couldn't. I wasn't trying to teach him a lesson, I said. I was setting a boundary. There's a difference. I know, she said. And I think he finally understands who's actually been his dad all along. A few days later, I found a folded piece of paper on my pillow. Inside, in that same crooked handwriting from years ago, it said, I know you're not my dad on paper, but you're the only one who acts like one. I was wrong to say you were playing dad. You're not playing. You're just being one. I'm sorry for being a jerk. Also, Tyler is leaving me alone now. I think the meeting actually worked, and I think he's scared of you, in a good way. Thanks for coming, even though I didn't deserve it. I put it in the same drawer as that old welcome to the family card. Different ink. Same kid. Different understanding. So that's the story. Did I handle it perfectly? No. Could I have just swallowed my pride and shown up without making him ask? Maybe. But sometimes love means letting someone feel the weight of their words. Sometimes the best thing you can do is step back just enough that they notice you were holding them up all along. Now I want to hear from you. If you were in my position, would you have kept showing up no matter what he said? Or would you have stepped back the way I did and let his bio dad's absence speak for itself? Was I wrong to make him feel that empty chair? Or was that the only way he'd learn who was really in his corner? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps us bring you more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.